Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to my channel. This morning I want to talk to us about the frustrations I'm feeling, the anger I'm feeling towards God. Let me put on my seatbelt here. This thing always want to go off when I am recording, man. So let me put it on here. One second. Yeah. I don't know if you ever feel angry with God when you think of some things that the Bible says, and when you think about life and what is happening in our world and your own experiences, church and Bible and everything. It makes you wonder. Because of late I've been really asking a lot of questions, because I think when you reach a certain age in life, you start questioning things more than when you just take things for granted when you are young and nothing seemed to matter. There are some things in the Bible that I just can't come to grips with these days. For one, the Bible tells us that in Genesis 2:29, God created Adam and Eve, and then he created a tree for food, a tree of life, and a tree of good and evil. Why would you create a tree of good and evil in the first place? Then why would you put it in the reach of Adam and Eve and tell them not to touch it? That's my problem. Because I am not wiser than God. And I know if I have a gun, a bomb, a grenade, I would not just put that gun or that bomb or that grenade in the reach of my children and tell them not to touch it. What I would do as a responsible parent is to lock it away far from them so that they can't reach it, to touch it and get themselves into trouble. Okay, so they go ahead and listen to the devil and they touched it. But when my children make a mistake or they do something wrong, I punish the one that does the wrong. I don't punish the other one and the other one. No, I punish the one that does the wrong, and I am over and I'm done with them. The punishment is over. The next minute I'm loving them up. You want to tell me that for 6,000 years, because a man eat from a fruit that God said they were not to eat from, and God is so angry with us for 6,000 years, he has basically like abandoned us. He has basically like leave children to suffer. Bombs are dropping all over the world. Syria, you name it. Afghanistan, all over the world there are wars. There are people who are jumping on rickety boats, running for their lives, and including children on the high seas. When they go out on the high seas, guess what happened? The boat turned over. These children drown.
Straight onto Prince Charles Drive South Regional Road 54.
Yeah, these children jump onto these rickety boats trying to flee for their lives, and guess what? They drown. And you tell me this God of love just sits and he watches these things to happen to innocent little children? On top of that, he is like, if I am, sorry about the GPS. Yeah, if I
continue on Regional Road 54 for 4 kilometers.
If one of my child does something wrong, I punish him and I'm done with it. I do not punish this child for 6,000 years or for the rest of his life, and then I'm not satisfied, so I punish the other generation and the other generation and the other generation, and over 6,000 years of war, bloodshed. On top of that, the only way that God could find to save us is to send again his son to be slaughtered by evil men. On top of that, before that, he used to allow the animals to be slaughtered. Animals supposed to have feelings. Yeah? So I don't understand this God of the Bible that allow all these things to be going on in our world. Why would you be, because of one disobedience, you inflict damage and pain on an entire generation upon generation for the past 6,000 years according to the Christian Bible, and non-stop wars, non-stop bloodshed. You send your son to solve the problem, his blood was shed. right? And it was at the requirement, at your requirement. Mankind was just fulfilling what God required, the blood of animals, or the blood of his son, in order to redeem us from sin. So we are basically saying in the Bible that this God can only be pleased when there's cruelty to animals or cruelty to his son. I mean, it just not adding up to me, right? And on top of that, it's just like I would say to my neighbors, I'm making a pizza, come over, I can make the best pizza. And so I go out of my way to make it so beautiful, so desirable. And when the neighbor come over and look at the pizza and ready to get down, I tell the neighbor, if you look at my pizza, you have committed a sin. Now, why would God make women so beautiful, so desirable, and then when we men look at them to desire them, you tell us we commit a sin? Why did you create them in the first place? Why did you create us with the desire in the first place? You see, these are the things I can't understand with our Bible. Why create something that we are to love, and when we love it, you say we sin, and we go into hell and we're going to burn because we love something that who create? I didn't create myself. I didn't create woman. I didn't create desire. You created it. So it's just crazy. You know, it's just crazy that these things, and in addition to that, the Bible sanctions rape. It says in Leviticus that if a woman get raped by a man, the woman should marry to the rapist. And on top of that, you know, it also talks about buying people as slaves. So the Bible that we are a part of, that we are believing in, the Bible sanctions slavery, and slavery is immoral. Slavery is immoral because, as you know the history of slavery, people used to get beaten and being cruel, treated in the most ways. Some of the women were raped by these men, and all of that. You know, it's just, and then the Bible gonna sanction that? No. You see how this boss guy pull out on me? He just pulled out on me and I have the right of way. He couldn't wait because it says I must yield. I must yield, not my right of way guy. Anyway. Yeah, so people, I am having issues with this Bible because there are so many questions and questionable things that we're asked to believe and accept, you know. The Bible says in Isaiah 45 verse 7 that God created evil. And the Christian will argue, oh, you must look in the context and this and that. Why don't you tell me to look in the context when it says he created light? You have no problem with that. When he says he created darkness, you have no problem with that. But you have a problem when he says he created evil. So our people are not being realistic. They're being choosy, right, when it comes to obedience, right? That's the same way you accept that God created everything in Genesis 1 and 2. You accept that he created the animals, the birds, the bees, the flowers, and the trees, but you don't accept in Genesis 2:29 he says he created a tree of good and evil. Why create a tree of good and evil, God? Okay, let's say you create the tree of good and evil, but why would you put it in the reach of Adam and Eve? Why? And the Bible says that God knows the end from the beginning.
Your destination will be on the left.
I don't understand why would you do something like that, because you know better, and who know better is supposed to do better. But this God created something, and then he turns around, and then we are punished for it. You know, it's really kind of hard to understand. Anyway, people, going to the doctor, go get my x-ray for my knees. I don't know if it's the cold. As you can see, this place in Canada, man, it's made for bears at this time of the year. You know, it's made for bears. They're not human beings, man. We're looking at about -11 right now. It's when you go outside, your hands are freezing. So these places deteriorate your health. It could be. Plus, I got an injury from a car accident some time ago. All of this is just acting up on me now. Both knees. It used to be one knee, now it's both knees. So I'm gonna have to do some X-ray at this place. So I don't think here is the right place. So let me go down so further. But thank you all for listening. Please leave your comments. Tell me what you think. Because I want to love God. I want to believe in Him. I want to serve Him. But if I am having these questions, it's making me question God. And I know He doesn't have a problem with people questioning Him, and I know my questions are legitimate questions because I'm not making up this thing. This thing is in my Bible. You read these things, you know, so what do we do with these things? Well, a gentleman just say he don't focus on those things. What he does just read upon the life of Jesus. But these are some of the questions if I was alive in Jesus' days, I would have asked him. When he says don't look on a woman and lust, I would ask him, so why you make me with the ability to lust? Who made me? It is He that created me and not me myself. I didn't create me, Jesus. You created me, and you created women. You created love and lust and desire. So when I mean, are you trying to tell me, Jesus, I must walk around with like the Muslims? Well, you can't even say like the Muslims. But what? Should I bury my head in the sand when I'm walking, hold my head down, or don't admire people or admire beautiful women that you made? You go out of your way and you make them so beautiful. And when I admire them now, you're telling me I'm wrong. Come on. I don't understand that, so I need to understand. So yeah, people. Anyway, I don't want to repeat myself too much. So tell me what you think. Leave a comment. I know most of you can't manage this, so most of you don't even leave a comment, but leave a comment. Share the video so that others can jump in and find out and say what they think. I'm not trying to let people lose faith in God. I'm just saying that, you know, for me, God's supposed to be logical, and what I'm reading in the Bible now and what I'm seeing now doesn't add up. Anyway, take care. God bless and goodbye.